but it didn't hurt to have the governor call and say,
The second Obama gets elected, Michelle says, I want a job
yep,
at one of two hospitals for between $200,000 and $300,000.
that's correct. Done more for Obama over the years than he did for me. And ultimately, politically and in the media just conveniently ignored Rezko's relationship to Obama. They give it very little coverage.
In a move that shocked many, Rod Blagojevich took the unusual step of exposing details about Obama's early career. The former Illinois governor laid out to roughly 200,000, 300,000 Carlson viewers how the media quietly withheld key facts during Obama's rise, including events tied to one of two hospitals. We're covering all of it today. If you want the full breakdown and believe in seeking the truth.
No, I thought Obama was all right, kind of cold and impersonal, but okay, and I was happy to be helpful. But he's one of the more selfish people in politics on a one-on-one level, and he's not pure like the driven snow in the sense of his ethics or morality. And, Tony Rezko's the guy who bought this lot next to Obama's.
Truth. Hit the subscribe button and let's dive in. To give some context, Rod revealed that he had a role in selling Obama's Senate seat after the 2008 election, a claim that drew attention and raised eyebrows. Meanwhile, Michelle Obama had been employed at the University of Chicago since 2002. According to a university announcement, she was promoted in 2005 to vice president.
And one of the things I write about in my book is that when I was governor first, and then Barack won in 2004, I was asked to make a phone call on behalf of Michelle Obama, because as soon as he won the Senate race, she wanted a job either at Northwestern University or the University of Chicago hospitals for $200,000 to $300,000 a year, the wife of the new
president for community and external affairs at the medical center, overseeing diversity initiatives, a major step up from her previous role. Her salary reportedly jumped from $120,000 as executive director in 2004 to over $300,000 as vice president in 2005. Blagojevich continued the story by highlighting Tony Rezko.
I was asked, would you call? And
Was she specific about how much she wanted?
yeah.
Was she specific about salary?
Yeah, and I think the Northwestern, we should double check this, but I think my recollection is good. I think Northwestern was willing to pay $200,000 to hire her. This is the wife of the new U.S. Senator, and federal money for, Medicaid and Medicare, things like that.
A prominent Democratic fundraiser who played a key role in Obama's early political rise. Rezko's influence was considerable, and Blagojevich implied that some early career moves for Obama were closely tied to these connections. One example involved a Chicago mansion for sale. The owner wanted to sell the property along with the adjacent lot.
She didn't get it because of me, but it didn't hurt to have the governor call and say,
The second Obama gets elected, Michelle says, I want a job
yep,
at one of two hospitals for between $200,000 and $300,000.
that's correct. Yeah, and she ended up working at the University of Chicago Hospital. I'm almost certain $300,000 a year.
Obama sought advice from Rezko after failing to secure both parcels. He closed on the house that same day, while the empty lot next door went to Rezko's wife. Notably, Rezko was already under federal investigation at the time. Obama himself later called the decision a boneheaded mistake, acknowledging it was a poor choice once the story became public.
And so Rezko was really helpful to Obama. And so when the investigations against me heated up, it had to do with fundraising, and Tony was part of that. And I got to say this, Tony suffered. He spent 8 years in prison. I don't know whether those things that they said he did were even legal based on what they did to me. I'm not so sure they were illegal. It had nothing to do with my administration. They were business matters.
Yet a pattern emerges. He quickly distances himself from anyone who becomes a liability. He did the same with his longtime pastor. At the time, even Politico noted that Reverend Wright had baptized their two children and had inspired the title of Obama's second best-selling book, The Audacity of Hope. Yet as soon as Wright became politically inconvenient, he was cut loose. That's politics, messy, strategic, and rarely clean. Those who seem polished on television are often focused more on personal advancement than meaningful change. It takes a rare individual to step back and say,
Obama just ran from him, did nothing to help him, and pretends like he never knew him. And yet the moment he became senator, she gets that $300,000 a year job with a little help, tiny little bit of help from me with a phone call. And then they buy this mansion in the Kenwood neighborhood, which is Hyde Park, Chicago. Beautiful old mansions where the family of Leopold and Loeb, they lived. Yeah.
I alone can fix this country's problems. Viewed through that lens, their decisions start to make sense. Blagojevich also addressed the media's role. explaining how reporters and major outlets routinely covered up questionable actions during Obama's Senate career. He raised important points about selective reporting and shielding, and that protection didn't end once he became president. Many details about Russiagate surfaced, including evidence that
the Obamas bought this mansion. Now he's the new senator. The first thing they do is buy a mansion. I guess he felt like I was getting a mansion because I was the governor. It wasn't mine, but I got the use of a 50,000 square foot governor's mansion. I guess they wanted their own. So they could only afford 750,000. So they purchased the lot with the house on it, the mansion on it, but they couldn't afford the adjoining lot. So they asked Rezko to buy it for them. And he did.
Just weeks before leaving office, Obama pushed for a new intelligence report tying Trump to Russia. Yet, mainstream media coverage was minimal. Understandably, given the implications, Obama has continued to enjoy media protection on a scale few contemporary political figures have ever seen. Major outlets largely ignored Russiagate, rarely conducting in-depth investigations even as critical information surfaced, such as claims that in the final weeks of his presidency, he pushed for a new intelligence assessment linking Trump to Russia. The silence was no accident. It followed the same pattern Blagojevich previously.
My understanding of the federal investigations with me were also connected to Obama, that these guys were apparently looking into that and some other things. Along the way, the dynamic changed. Obama started moving up in the presidential race. And here again, I did something I'd like to take back, but I was the first governor in America to endorse him for president. I'm got personal relationships from Illinois, and he was running against Hillary, so it wasn't hard.
Highlighted. When inconvenient truths clash with a polished public image, the media often chooses protection over accountability. Obama remained untouchable because he and Michelle checked nearly every political and cultural box the media valued. Millions of Americans placed immense faith in him, believing his administration would usher in transformative change. Yet more than a decade later, when the rhetoric...
He started rising. Axelrod, David, who used to work for me, and then went on to Obama. I knew what they were doing. They were, for political reasons, they were, influencing the media to pretty much Tony me up more than Obama. I was more Tony'd up. And Tony was a supporter and a friend, and I liked Tony, in spite of everything that's happened to him. But Obama knew him and loved him longer. And Tony had done more for Obama over the years than he did for me.
And imagery are stripped away. It's harder to argue that the promise was fully realized. His record often reflects continuity with the self-serving system he vowed to reform, rather than a decisive break from the past.
And ultimately, politically and in the media just conveniently ignored Rezko's relationship to Obama. They give it very little coverage. And it was all about me and Tony.
So Axelrod worked for you?
He did when I was a congressman, when I ran for Congress.
What's he like?
Oh, he's very smart. I like him a lot. His son was an intern for me. His son, Michael, he's a great kid. He's grown up now. No, I like David a lot, but he's a very practical guy, and he's very ambitious politically. And, it's a rough and tumble business. And, when his interests collide with yours,
His one out.
He will exercise what's in his interest.
Particularly in areas like foreign policy, domestic conflicts, and the consolidation of political power. Share your thoughts on this topic in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and keep engaging critically with the issues that shape our country.